Hello, and welcome to the 505 tutorial for changing modes and languages. In this tutorial, you will learn how to access the 505's different modes, as well as change the language of the unit. You will be working with the controller often, so it is important to know how to access the different modes in order to make any configuration or calibration changes. Additionally, English is the default language of the 505, so it will be imperative to know how to change languages if your site requires another language. We'll begin by explaining the 505's three operating modes: operation, calibration, and configuration. Remember, as the Changing User Levels tutorial explained, certain modes can be accessed only when a user is logged in with a specific user level. Keep this in mind as we cover the different modes, as this tutorial does not cover the steps for changing user levels. First, let's discuss operation mode. Operation mode is the default 505 mode, the only mode that can be used to run the turbine, and the mode that the 505 will return to after exiting the calibration or configuration modes. Finally, operation mode can be accessed from the operator, service, and configure user levels. Calibration is the next mode. This mode is used to force or manually control the actuator, analog, and relay outputs in order to calibrate the signals and field devices. To enter calibration mode, the user must be logged in to either the service or configure user level, and the 505 must be tripped, and there can be no speed detected. Once these requirements are met, press the calibration function key on the user login and mode selection screen to enter calibration mode. Configuration is the final mode. This mode is used to configure the 505 by setting the operating parameters for a specific application prior to the operation of the unit. To enter configuration mode, the user must be logged in to the configure user level, and the 505 must be tripped, and there can be no speed detected. All three LEDs must be lit in the configuration mode permissives section of the user login and mode selection screen before entering configuration mode. Now, let's change modes from operation to configuration. Remember that for this process, we've already logged into the configure user level, which means the user login and mode selection screen is still displayed. From here, press the black function key below the configuration button in the bottom right of the screen. Use the navigation cross keys to highlight OK in the confirmation to enter configuration mode pop-up box that appears, and then press Enter to select that button. The unit enters Input-Output Lock, which disables all output channels. You will know the controller is in configuration mode when the I/O lock LED illuminates red, and the configuration LED in the mode section of the user login and mode selection screen illuminates green. Press Home to return to the main screen. Then press the black function key below the configuration button in the bottom left of the screen. It's from this configuration menu screen that you can configure the 505 to your unique site. The 3 pages you will need to complete for a minimum configuration are turbine start, speed setpoints, and speed control. Before you save the settings, it's a good idea to verify that there aren't any errors. Do this by pressing the black function key below the Config check button. The configuration errors screen displays. This screen displays any problems with the current configuration of the unit. An empty table on this screen indicates that there are no errors in the current configuration. Press Escape to return to the previously viewed page. Back on the configuration menu screen, press the black function key below the Save Settings button. The button text changes to Saving for a second or two, and then it returns to Save Settings. Unless you need to perform another configuration process, you should now exit out of configuration mode. To exit configuration mode, make sure you're on the user login and mode selection screen. If you aren't, simply press Mode to open it. Press the black function key below the Exit Configuration button. Use the navigation cross keys to highlight OK in the exit confirmation window that pops up. Then press Enter. When you exit the configuration mode, the unit resets to the operator user level and the operation mode. The same procedure is followed if you would like to exit calibration mode, except you would press the black function key below the Exit Calibration button. When you exit the calibration mode, you will remain in the service or configure user level, but the unit will reset to the operation mode. If any users need to access and use the 505 in a language other than English, log in to either the service or configure user level and then follow these steps. As necessary, press Mode on the left side of the 505's front panel. The user login and mode selection screen displays. Use the navigation cross keys to highlight the globe icon in the top left corner of the screen. Then press Enter to select that icon. The language pop-up window opens in the bottom middle of the screen. Both the language field and the down arrow should be highlighted. Press Enter to select them. The language field's drop-down menu opens. Press the green Adjust Down key on the front panel of the unit to highlight the desired language. Press Enter to select that language. Press the black function key below Close in the bottom left of the screen. While you're still on the user login and mode selection screen, press the black function key below Save Settings. For the language change to take effect, the 505 WGUI application must be restarted. This can be accomplished by either restarting the WGUI application using App Manager. This method allows the language change to take place while the unit is running. For details on how to use App Manager to restart the WGUI application, please refer to the App Manager tutorial, or power cycling the unit. This method is usually performed when users don't have a PC available to connect to the unit. After power cycling, the unit reboots with the new language settings applied. You now know the basics of changing modes, setting up the unit with the minimum configuration for it to run, and changing languages. Please be sure to view the other tutorials for more information.